Today, we dive into the fascinating world of Roman municipal life, exploring how local communities, brimming with character and rich history, served as the backbone of the mighty Roman Empire. Rather than a singular, all-powerful entity, Rome was an intricate mosaic of self-governing towns and cities, each with its own unique identity and customs. These municipal communities not only carried out their own local administration, but also played critical roles in the empire's military conscription, taxation, and jurisdiction systems. In essence, each community was a vibrant neighborhood contributing to the epic story of Rome. What makes these towns even more compelling is their dual heritage, the Hellenic style in the east and the Latin evolution in the west, each reflecting its own culture, language, and administrative traditions. In our journey today, we will explore how these local systems evolved over centuries, how they responded to external pressures, and how they left an indelible mark on the history of governance. Prepare to experience an engaging narrative about the colorful civic life and structure that not only united but also enriched the Roman world. Let's embark on this historical adventure that reveals life behind the legendary Roman facade. Absolutely fascinating. At the heart of the Roman Empire's success was an ingenious municipal structure that allowed a vast territory to function as a collection of independent, self-reliant communities. Each town operated with its own local government, yet was interlinked by Rome's overarching military and civil organizations. Local administration was not centralized solely in the capital. Rather, it flourished in neighborhoods that managed taxes, conscription, and even minor judicial matters. These municipalities operated on principles that were familiar to modern communities. Democratically elected bodies overseeing day-to-day governance, with responsibilities ranging from public works to law enforcement. In this expansive network, the cities were more than mere administrative units. They were living communities contributing to the empire's stability and unity. The citizens of each town were proud participants in their local assemblies, gathering to deliberate and decide on matters affecting their lives. The system ensured that local needs were addressed while simultaneously reinforcing the power of Rome through a shared cultural and civic pride. Today, by examining the forces that united military might with civic responsibility, we see how local self-governance was crucial in managing immense diversity. This innovative blend of local freedom and imperial oversight was a driving force behind the empire's resilience and adaptability throughout centuries of change, laying down a legacy that continues to influence modern governance structures. This structure not only enabled effective administration, but also cultivated local traditions and community identity. In the eastern provinces of the Roman Empire, municipal life retained the enduring legacy of ancient Greek traditions. These Hellenic municipalities were an evolution of the famed city-states, or polis, that preceded Roman conquest. In these communities, the familiar cadence of the Greek language and the democratic spirit of popular assemblies created an atmosphere where civic participation was not only encouraged, but celebrated. Citizens gathered in open forums to debate local issues, elect officials through varied methods including lot and popular vote, and serve their community with a shared sense of destiny. This structure lent a refreshing democratic flavor to civic life, even as the empire at large moved toward greater centralization. Though the institutions of these towns were remolded under Roman influence, with property qualifications and reserved offices gradually changing the balance of power, the original Greek terminology and spirit lived on, defining the essence of daily life. It was not unusual to witness exuberant discussions in local markets, lively debates in assembly halls, and public ceremonies that honored both traditional Hellenic heroes and the accomplishments of Roman benefactors. The integration of Roman administrative practices did little to erase the vibrant Hellenistic culture, which remained a source of pride for the citizens of these eastern communities. Over the centuries, as Rome's influence expanded, the synthesis of Greek democratic ideals with Roman organizational efficiency created a unique model of local governance that stood as a testament to the enduring power of cultural fusion. This blend of old and new not only enriched the lives of local inhabitants, but also provided a stimulating framework that would influence governance in the subsequent eras. Indeed, the Hellenic model celebrated art, philosophy, and civic debate as essential elements of community life. Its creative energy made these cities enduring centers of culture and governance. In contrast to the East, the Latin model of municipal life developed on the very soil of Italy, evolving under the steady expansion of Roman rule. Latin municipalities emerged as communities that were deeply influenced by the central traditions of Rome, integrating the city's institutional forms with local adaptations. These towns were organized in close imitation of Rome, featuring a structured hierarchy of offices such as the duovirs, aediles, and quaestors, and a council known as the curia. Here, civic duty took on a formal character. Public offices were filled by men who not only carried the honor of leadership, but also bore a significant financial burden. Each official contributed to the community treasury by paying a fixed fee, a practice that not only secured public works, but also invited the more affluent citizens to display their local patriotism. Despite differences in status between Roman colonies, Latin colonies, and municipia, the core municipal framework remained consistent throughout the western provinces. Civic life in these communities was marked by a deep sense of collective responsibility. The same spirit that brought Rome together became the pulse of local towns. Regular assemblies, elections, and public events cemented the community's bonds, ensuring a vibrant and participatory urban culture. Moreover, the legislation of Julius Caesar further standardized municipal organization, paving the way for a uniform civic structure that would endure for centuries. This fusion of local customs and centralized control offered a blueprint for organizing urban life that was both functional and symbolically rich, embodying the Roman ideal of civic unity and duty. Moreover, these Latin municipal communities celebrated local festivals, hosted public forums, and constructed undeniably impressive infrastructure that demonstrated their civic pride. Their daily lives were interwoven with administrative duties, festive traditions, and a collective commitment to the prosperity of their town. Roman municipal governance was an intricate tapestry of political and administrative institutions that underpinned the entire empire. At the local level, civic leaders were elected or selected using a combination of popular vote and sortition, ensuring that public office was accessible to many, albeit those who met strict property qualifications. The duovirs, the chief magistrates of the municipality, were responsible for maintaining order, administering justice, and executing public affairs. Working alongside them were the aediles, who oversaw the maintenance of infrastructure, managed market regulations, and ensured the smooth conduct of public festivals. In addition, the quaestors served as treasurers, responsible for the financial administration of the community. Every 5 years, a special assembly known as the quinquennales would convene to take the census, a procedure integral to maintaining fair local taxation and upholding civic responsibilities. The curia, composed of decurions, functioned as the municipal council and was the heart of local decision-making. These decurions were usually selected from a pool of experienced former magistrates or appointed directly based on their wealth and property qualifications, forming a body that balanced both administrative expertise and local influence. Through these roles, local leaders not only enforced laws but also played a significant part in facilitating the construction and maintenance of public works, such as aqueducts, theaters, and temples. Despite the honor associated with these offices, their unsalaried nature meant that holding office was often a heavy financial burden, one that could potentially ruin personal fortunes. As a consequence, the position slowly evolved from a voluntary civic duty to an obligatory burden imposed upon members of the elite. In response, the imperial government introduced curators, officials tasked with reorganizing local finances in communities suffering from economic decline. By appointing these curators, Rome aimed to stabilize municipal administration and secure steady revenue streams. Moreover, as municipal offices became more intertwined with imperial financial obligations, the local decurions increasingly found themselves acting as agents of state treasury collection. This shift not only consolidated imperial control over local governance, but also underscored a profound transformation in the relationship between Rome and its provinces. Ultimately, these political and administrative institutions provided the structural backbone for local self-governance, while also embedding communities in the broader machinery of empire-wide control, merging traditional civic participation with centralized imperial oversight. Over time, the evolution of these institutions reflected the changing priorities of Roman society. As the empire expanded, the pressure to administer diverse regions led to innovations in local governance that balanced traditional civic values with the practical needs of an ever-growing state. The responsibilities of each municipal official became more specialized, while their collective efforts maintained the stability essential for urban prosperity. This system, though complex, exemplified a sustainable model in which citizen participation was interwoven with state interests, ultimately proving resilient in the face of economic and military challenges. By delegating power and ensuring that administrative practices were refined, the Romans managed to uphold a sphere of local autonomy that allowed municipal life to flourish under weight of imperial demands. Beyond the formal institutions of governance, social life in Roman municipalities was deeply enriched by collegia, associations reminiscent of modern-day guilds. These collegia were more than mere clubs. They represented vital networks that offered social, professional, and even religious support to their members. In a society where political influence might be limited to a few, the collegia provided a platform for broader community engagement. Members, whether artisans, traders, or professionals, gathered to share skills, celebrate festive banquets, and participate in collective rituals that ensured proper burials and public ceremonies. Their meetings were lively affairs filled with humor, camaraderie, and spirited debate, reflecting the dynamic nature of urban social life. These associations often replicated the hierarchical organization of the municipalities themselves, with elected leaders, treasurers, and organized committees. Although they originally emerged as voluntary organizations, over time, many collegia became more institutionalized as they took on roles that supported public works and even assumed state-sanctioned responsibilities. Celebrations, processions, and communal feasts not only strengthened individual bonds, but also fostered a deep sense of shared identity and pride among the citizens. In contexts where formal political power was concentrated in a small elite, collegia offered a unique avenue for social mobility and public service. Their influence was such that local leaders often emerged from these associations, and their practices left an enduring mark on the cultural fabric of the towns. This system of collegial association, therefore, stands as testament to the creative and resilient spirit of Roman urban life, where the collective social energy was harnessed to support both community welfare and civic duty. In every forum and street corner, the vibrant exchange of ideas and mutual assistance within collegia turned everyday interactions into festive moments of collaboration and mutual growth, a legacy that still inspires contemporary community networks, indeed, profoundly. The later years of the Roman Empire witnessed a gradual, yet unmistakable, decline in the prosperity and autonomy of its municipalities. Over time, economic hardships caused by overtaxation, mismanagement of local finances, and the depletion of a free peasantry created a ripple effect that undermined the vibrant life of these communities. Wealthy families were often ruined by the burdens of public office, forcing many to withdraw from civic responsibilities. As a result, the once proud municipal officials became reluctant participants in a system that increasingly demanded their service, turning what had once been an honor into a burdensome obligation. Additionally, the devastating wars of the 3rd century, compounded by rampant plagues and persistent barbarian invasions, struck the towns with relentless force. Trade and commerce, the lifeblood of urban prosperity, wilted under these pressures. In response, the imperial government was forced to intervene by appointing curators tasked with reorganizing municipal finances and reviving administrative order. This intervention, however, came at the cost of local autonomy, as municipal offices gradually became tools for imperial fiscal control. Over the decades, as partnerships between local decurions and the central government deepened, the cherished spirit of self-governance faded away. Communities that once flourished with independent civic pride became mere cogs in the vast apparatus of the imperial state, their economic decline marking the slow and inevitable fall of municipal independence. The transformation of these once self-reliant communities into obligatory fiscal units stands as a stark reminder of the challenges faced by even the most resilient societies. This economic downturn and loss of autonomy reshaped the everyday lives of citizens, causing diminished public spirit and eroding traditions that had sustained community cohesion for centuries. The slow decay of municipal independence remains a powerful lesson about the vulnerabilities of even the most robust systems, and stoke reflection. Reflecting on the expansive history of Roman municipal life, it is evident that local communities were much more than administrative units. They were vibrant centers of cultural, political, and social life. In both the Hellenic East and the Latin West, the foundations of municipal governance helped forge a legacy based on civic participation, public duty, and community pride. The evolution from the democratic assemblies of Greek-inspired towns to the structured, state-regulated municipalities in the Latin territories illustrates how local self-governance adapted to meet the demands of an ever-changing empire. Over centuries, these communities not only managed their local affairs, but also contributed to building monumental infrastructures such as aqueducts, theaters, and forums that have captured the imagination of historians and enthusiasts alike. The built environment of these towns, filled with public works, funded by both voluntary contributions and the burdens of unsalaried office, speaks volumes about a society that valued communal achievement over individual wealth. Yet, as time progressed, the pressures of economic decline, military strife, and imperial centralization chipped away at the independence of these communities. The transformation of civic offices into obligatory fiscal duties underscored a shift from a system of shared responsibility to one dominated by state interests. In examining the legacy of Roman municipal institutions, one can see the enduring influence of these early civic models on modern urban governance. Today's local governments, community associations, and even neighborhood clubs echo the values of civic participation and collective welfare that were once at the heart of Roman municipal life. The story of these municipalities offers timeless lessons about the importance of balancing local autonomy with centralized oversight. It serves as a reminder that while effective governance must negotiate the pressures of an expanding state, it should never lose sight of the local identities and traditions that help bind communities together. Ultimately, the legacy of Roman municipal organization is a testament to human ingenuity and the enduring power of civic engagement to shape the social and political landscapes of societies. In our modern era, the echoes of Roman municipal life are evident in community councils, local legislation, and grassroots movements that emphasize civic responsibility. These timeless principles remind us that governance is not only about laws and taxation, but also about nurturing the spirit of community, preserving cultural heritage, and ensuring that every voice, no matter how small, contributes to the collective narrative of our shared history.